Evening, everybody. It's just a few minutes before 6 o'clock, and this is your closing comment. It is video number 1003 for Tuesday afternoon, November 2nd. It was a really wild day today. Just amazing, some of the moves. I know that I gave you this morning's stuff on CHGG, which missed and was trading at 42, almost 43, down just a scant $19.50 or 31%. Well, it continued for the rest of the day and finished 32.12, down 30.64 or 49%. We also had ZILLOW, which this morning was down a bit on the fact that they were going to stop their house flipping business. This is what happens when companies get away from their core competency and they reach to be able to show people that they can continue to make more and more money and that they deserve their inflated values. Not so much with ZILLOW. On Friday, it closed 106. Yesterday, it was down 640 and closed at 97 and change, followed by a move to 87.20, down 950. And in the after hours, when they actually announced some of the numbers and determined what percentage of the homes they bought to flip were actually underwater, the stock moved even lower. 79.58 down 17.57 or 18%. In the other direction, though, we had some real home runs today. Bed Bath & Beyond announced a deal with Kroger to do online, offline, a combination, new model for them. The stock had closed 16.75, up $1.47 today, up 9.6%. And after the announcement, it traded as high as 32. The last is 27.88, up 12.54 or 82%. LYFT beat on their numbers. The stock had closed down $1.08 at 45.32, traded as high as 51.89. The last is pretty close to that, 51.04, up 4.60. So a little right around a $6 reversal, and the stock was up about 10% on the day. But without question, the most excitement of all was with AVIS. They beat. The symbol is CAR. The stock had closed at 174, down 545 yesterday. And, it closed 171. It opened today at 174 and traded as high as 545 before closing 357.17, up 185.71 or 104%. To give you an idea of what that did, AVIS is part of the Dow Jones Transportation Index, which had yet to make a new high. It closed today 17,000 and change, up 1,096, 6.8%. I couldn't believe the number, so I went to Google and I Googled Dow Jones Transportation Index, and the first story that I saw said, and I quote, Dow Jones Transportations is not a misprint. Evidently, not only did it close up so dramatically, but it actually was substantially higher. It traded over 18,000. This is an index with a low today of 15,938 and change and a high of 18,246 and change, closing 17,039.38, up 1,096.29, 6.88%. This is actually pretty similar to something that we had in the initial run of GameStop. GameStop, which was a $5 stock, and barely that, was part of the XRT, which is the retail ETF. And retail was just getting pounded at the time. And yet the XRT was consistently higher. So pretty exciting, and it just shows you that when there's an index with only 20 stocks in it and one of them does something like this, how warped it could actually be. So today we had new high close, Dow Jones Industrials, Dow Jones Transportations by a long shot, NASDAQ up 53.69. All of these are up about 1/3%. Same thing, S&P 500 up 16.98, and the Russell up 374 or 0.16%. So these numbers really dwarf. Now, the chart on the screen is the corn, which took a little bit of a breather today. This is the weekly. Let me go to the daily, and let me make it visible for you. We did make a new high for this little run. We got up as high as 586, but we closed down on the day, down 6. It was the same situation in a bunch of the grains, soybeans not being one of them. Soybeans were actually up, as were the meal and the soybean oil. Wheat was down just under 6 cents a bushel. Oats were up 9.40. This has been an unbelievable move for a really tiny little commodity, the oats, mostly because I think there's a big usage of oats and a poor crop that has gone with things like oat milk, and other oat products. The gold, after being up, gave back half of what it made yesterday. The silver got pounded down 56 cents. I have no clue what this is about. Platinum down 28, palladium down, cattle higher. I don't usually go through all these, but when we have so much talk of inflation, this is kind of important. Cotton finally had a down day after a meteoric rise of late. It was down over 2%, but as you can see, it's had a move in the last 5 days from about 108 to today's high 121.67. So it may come back down into this 113, 115 area. Bitcoin was higher. Ethereum was higher. The dollar was down a little. The dollar was up 20 cents. Bitcoin up 2,400, Ethereum up 172, and the bonds continue to rally, and the yield curve was somewhat increasing today because the short end was also up substantially for lower yields. Tomorrow, non-manufacturing ISM. We have the ADP number for last month. We have factory orders. We have service PMI. And of course, we have the Fed on rates at 2 o'clock. So be careful out there, folks. This is the kind of action that doesn't happen at market bottoms. I mean, these kind of major moves that defy all logic also defy gravity, but just for so long. Have a good evening. I'll be back in the morning.